Our pace of life always seems to quicken these 2 weeks between Thanksgiving and winter holidays. We are anxious because of the new academic and athletic challenges we face, but we are excited as we celebrate our respective holidays and their cherished traditions. As a community, we welcome the opportunity to share these observances with our friends. Today in chapel, we observe Hanukkah, the festival of lights of the Jewish tradition. Next Wednesday night, we will observe Christmas with candlelight. Regardless of our observances, these holidays remind us of our spiritual lives. And now, the story of Hanukkah. The roots of Hanukkah date back to the ancient world with origins in the 4th century BCE when Alexander the Great conquered the Middle East. Alexander's conquest opened the way for a dynamic new culture, combining the wisdom of Greece with the richness of the ancient Near East.
Hellenism, as this culture was called, revolutionized the ancient world by creating opportunities for a more open society. But it also fostered assimilation, and thus was not always tolerant of separate religions and ethnic identities.
The Syrian government of Antiochus had control over Palestine. The pious Jews who refused to assimilate represented a threat to Antiochus and his efforts to unify and Hellenize his empire. He responded by imposing strict control, outlawing the public practice of Judaism and the setting of the Holy Temple in Jerusalem as a place of worship for the Greek god Zeus. The result was a Jewish rebellion against the forces attempting to eradicate the foundations of the Jewish culture and religion.
In 167 BCE, Mattathias, a rabbi, killed a Jewish Hellenist who was to offer a sacrifice at the altar of the new pagan cult. With his 5 sons and many other followers, he then fled to the mountains and conducted an unrelenting campaign to rid the land of Assyrian oppressors. This group became known as the Maccabees. The word Maccabee means hammer in Hebrew, and the name describes the swiftness and harshness of the Maccabean campaign against Syria. The Maccabees swept down from the mountains to attack Assyrian garrisons and Hellenistic strongholds.
In 165 BCE, one of the Maccabean brothers, Judah, led a decisive campaign that finally forced the Syrians from Jerusalem, allowing the Jews to retake control of the Holy Temple. The Jews cleansed and rededicated the temple to the God of Israel, and this event gave the holiday its name. Hanukkah is Hebrew for dedication.
According to legend, when the Maccabean rabbi tried to rekindle the menorah, the 8-branch candelabrum that adorned the temple, he discovered that there was only enough oil for one day. With deep faith that God would provide sufficient oil for this menorah, the Maccabees lit the candles. Miraculously, the small cruse of oil burned for 8 days, the length of the holiday of Hanukkah. Now we will say the prayer on the candles. Baruch atah Adonai Elokeinu melech haolam, asher kideshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Hanukkah.
Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of all, who hallows us the mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the Hanukkah lights.
Hanukkah celebrates a unique event, not only in Jewish history, but in the history of the world. This was the first battle fought not for territory or material gain, but for the right to free expression and the right to religious freedom. Hanukkah emphasizes the importance of cultural diversity and respect for the beliefs of others, and the bravery of the Maccabees should remind us all to encourage differences in culture and religion. It takes great courage to embrace our own beliefs while they are different from those around us. But we are most human when we are willing to accept our own uniqueness and accept and respect the cultural and religious identities of others. Every religion represented in our chapel has urged us to be kind and consider our communities as we make our decisions. Let us hold that wisdom in our hearts as we go through the holiday season. Thank you and happy holidays.